Expand your capabilities to supersize you. Welcome to day 130 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today we're talking about growing, right? I'm trying to work on saying things in a much more simple, straightforward way. Expand your capabilities. Really? No, just get better at something. Acquire a skill that you think you should have or have been saying for years you want to learn, but you haven't learned yet. I think we talked about reading. Was it just yesterday? Readers are leaders. Read a book. That will expand your capabilities. Pick a high leverage skill or something that you've always wanted to do. If you want to, make it something fun. Maybe it's a hobby or a craft or a sport or something that you've always wanted to do. By learning a new skill, you remind yourself that our brains stay young by learning new things, by trying new things. It's called neuroplasticity, all but more not simple things, but it's just the way our brain works. It's the pathways that our brain forms when we do new things and when we repeat. Sorry about my alarm. When we repeat and try to be a better version of ourselves, which is what this year's challenge is all about. How can I be a better me? A little bit every single day. And it's easy if we do one little thing every day. All of a sudden, at the end of the year, we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm an entirely different person in a good way than I was at the beginning of this year. And that's why this is the 9th year that I've done a challenge like this. I started out really small, trying to stretch my comfort zone. I think the first year was do one thing every day that scares you. And then I did love and I did fun and creativity and being a better version of yourself, things like that. And now this year's challenge is, of course, the Supersize You, meaning how can we become a bigger, better version of ourselves? And again, you get to define what supersize and bigger and better is for you. It might be you have more peace and calm in your life and are quieter, which people might not think that's supersizing. But if you've lived a lot of chaos, like some of us have, it's definitely awesome. So today, our challenge is, of course, going to be to choose one new skill that we're going to learn over the next 90 days and commit to that. And again, pick something that if you've ever caught yourself saying, oh, I should learn how to do that, or I should do that. My sister, one of the things that she wanted to master was our grandmother's, we have the same grandma, our grandmother's sugar cookies and cutout cookies. And she has totally done that, but she literally worked on it for years. The other thing was our grandmother's crabapple jelly recipe. She learned how to make the best crabapple jelly on the planet. And I made it with her not this year, but last year. And it was actually really fun. I don't know that I would do it by myself ever, but it was fun to do with her. So I got to master a new skill too, but I don't think I'm a master yet. I'm just a master at cutting crab apples. So pick something like that would light you up and make you happy and make you feel good in some way, shape, or form, or better in some way, shape, or form, and commit to doing that today. Share in the comments below what that's going to be for you. Now, we're also working on our SOAP framework today, and so I wanted to double up on this, the Eisenhower matrix. It's one of my favorite tools, and I was going to use it, then I wasn't going to use it, because the thing I'm actually working on personally with respect to mental health and well-being is a relationship thing. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really fit with that. I've already picked it, but what action should I take? Because our step 3 of the SOAP framework is A for action. We want to take action. We have to take action to ever have anything happen in our lives, right? We can think and we can have the right mindset and we can do all of the right things in our head. But if we don't get up and take some sort of action, meaning do something, nothing changes. Nothing will ever happen. It's one of the things about the law of attraction that, and in particular, The Secret. The law of attraction tells you to take inspired action. But in The Secret, they kind of left that part out. And so people mistakenly got the impression, oh, I can just sit on the couch and I can visualize all day long. And all of a sudden, poof, exactly what I want will fall in my lap on the couch. It doesn't work that way. We get ideas sitting on the couch and visualizing that we need to act on, right? We have to take a step toward that thing by taking action in order for it to start to show up in our life. So one of the ways we do that, and we can apply this to acquiring a new skill, is using the Eisenhower matrix. I hope you can see this. I'm going to kind of put it here. I'll just talk about it. And what the Eisenhower matrix is from President Eisenhower. He had a matrix for decision making and determining what action he would take on different things that came across his presidential desk, right? So if it was important, and urgent. It had to be both. Important meaning it had to get done, but not necessarily by him. And urgent meaning it needed to get done right away. If that's the quadrant that it fell into, he would do it right away. That's the thing. If it's urgent and important, we take action on it immediately. If it's important but not urgent, we can plan and schedule that. We can put it on our schedule. It's got to get done, but it's important that it gets done. It doesn't necessarily have to be done by me, and it doesn't necessarily have to be done right now. It's not that urgent. So it can just be scheduled, put on our schedule, because what we put on our schedules, guess what? It actually gets done. The things that we don't actually plan the time for, in my experience, seldom if ever get done. The next quadrant is not important, but urgent. You gotta eat. You gotta brush your teeth. Those things are urgent and important, but they don't, okay, that's not maybe a good example because we do need to do those things ourselves. So those are both urgent and important, right? We got to do them every day. Let's think of something that is not important, but it's pretty urgent. No, that's another, they're all personal ones, because what we want to do with those is we want to delegate those. It means it's got to get done again, but it doesn't necessarily, oh no, I said that wrong. I'm so sorry. It's not urgent. Okay, if it is important but not urgent, you delegate it. This is higher importance and urgency. If it's not important and not urgent, guess what? You just delete it from your list, and somebody else will pick up the slack, right? If it doesn't have to get done, it doesn't have to get done by you, and it doesn't have to get done by somebody on in your world or your team or in your family, just delete it. Don't even think about it anymore. Take it off your list of possibilities. I think I might have meat-X'd that a little. I apologize. If you want more help with that and a better explanation, ask. I can take a picture of it and put it, oh, I can't, it'll be backwards. I can find an actual decent Eisenhower matrix and attach it as a comment if that would be helpful. But that is our action item today. Today we need to pick something and take action on it. Guess what? You could kill two birds with one stone. You could pick your action as a skill that you want to improve your mental health and well-being. Maybe you want to learn how to meditate. Maybe you want to read a book about being present, The Power of Now. Don't ask me his name. I can't remember right now, but I have it sitting on my bookshelf. That's a great book about being present. It's a really famous motivational speaker now, and I can't remember his name, but he literally sat on a park bench for 2 years and sat quietly and came up with the idea of being present and wrote a whole book about it. Excuse me. So ask yourself a couple of questions today. Again, I think I've said it 3 times at least now. What is something that you've said out loud or said in your head a lot? Oh, I should really learn how to do that. Or it's a skill or something I really want to learn how. I will admit, I am learning sales. Finally, after 50 years in business, I'm actually consciously learning how to sell. Why? Because it's an extremely value-added, high-leverage skill. And after 50 years and 66 years of living, I think I should actually figure it out, right? I've just kind of wung it my whole life, and it's worked out great, but I'd like it to work out more intentionally and better by being conscious of what are good sales practices. So I've been observing and absorbing a lot of different sales training, and I'm actually in a coaching program. Guess what? I've had coaching a lot of my life. I think there's been a few times I haven't had a coach or coaches. But I find that when I have a focused area I want to learn about, it really helps to have a coach. Why? It cuts off literally years or decades of the time that it takes to achieve a skill or an outcome. And so that is why I paid $25,000 for one Excel spreadsheet. And that was 20 years ago. So obviously I believe in coaching. That's not my worst coaching story about expenses. I literally spent over $1 million on coaches, probably more than that. I don't think I've gotten to 2 million, but I've definitely spent over $1 million on coaches in my life because I know how powerful that can be to help us go to the next level in different businesses and different industries. So what's something you think you should do? Pick that if that seems right or feels right to you. Ask yourself, what is valuable in the marketplace or in my job or in my career or in my life? What would be something that I could really leverage by learning a new skill? You know, things like communication, sales, negotiation. Are you a good negotiator? Negotiation and sales to me goes kind of hand in hand. I've done a lot of negotiating and I've had a lot of negotiating experience, but I've never taken it to the sales side. Most of my business experience in sales has been, we always had a sales team, right? We always had a sales department. And so it didn't have to be my area of expertise, because I always thought it felt, and I think this is more of a woman thing than general population. I think that we feel like sales are icky. Isn't that a technical term? But they kind of are. At least the way they've been done in a lot of different industries in a lot of different ways. And that's why I think I've shied against it. But guess what? I think there are ways to help people determine if something is right for them or not. And that doesn't feel icky to me. That feels like, does this fit for you? If not, then I'm not going to offer it to you. But if it fits for you, let's do it, right? All right. And then how would your life, your income, your mental health and well-being be impacted if you acquired a skill, just one little skill that is something you can use to move your life forward? And only you can decide what that is. So today we are going to share the one skill that you are committing to improving. Mine, sales. I've said it several times. Am I struggling with it a little bit? Yes, because I've already started. I'm getting there. I found I had to go all the way back to the coaching program I'm in and start at day one again and redo each of the steps. Because one thing I've learned over my decades of learning and growing and being coached is when you choose to follow somebody and learn their method, you follow it step by step by step and get the results that they are promising you. Because if you don't follow it step by step, you're not necessarily going to get the results. And then take the process and make it your own. And only tweak it a little bit at a time so that you still continue to get successful results, but you make it feel more like you, and you make it more authentic to who you really are. All right. Any questions about anything related to today's topic? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.